Eat this.
Don't touch that dial. It's time for Tech Talk with Chad Hembree, featuring the latest and greatest in today's technology, with a little fun along the way.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Oh God, here we go again. Dork alert.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. This is our season premiere of our 9th consecutive season. We want to thank you so much for being here with us. We are excited about this season, Dean, because we have so many changes coming and really interesting things. But we actually just wanted to keep this show pretty close to the norm as we started a new season.
Yeah, are you trying to say we were normal to begin
Well,
with?
no, I'm just saying that so people would kind of recognize what show they were listening to before it changes a little bit. So we'll be talking throughout this edition about what some of the changes will be. And first of all, you know, I understand that I told you we wanted to step it up a little bit, but man, come on, you're showing me up here, buddy, with the tie and all, you know.
I was hoping it was green enough to blend in.
You're gonna be the floating head. Maybe I should step up. This is a good look. Maybe I should start ponying up.
Well, you never know. Like I said today, the Walmart women love it.
Oh, Dean, everyone's crazy about a sharp dressed man. Is that what you're saying? All right. Lots of things to cover. We have not been on the air since, January, the first week of January, right?
Yes.
So there's been a lot of things happen in the last few weeks. We won't try to cover it all because it's impossible, right? It's just not going to happen. But we do have several things that we're going to try to hit on as we talk about what our new format's going to be. First of all, I will say this. My tech diva will be back on Tech Talk. She started with us in 1995, took a break for a long time, came back again, took another break, but she's back. She's going to be doing the news for us starting next episode.
And that's Margie?
No, that's Letha.
Oh, Letha. Oh, okay.
But I'm glad you brought Margie up. Margie is actually going to be a regular on the show this season. That's virtual Margie. If you're not familiar with Margie, she's been a guest on the show many times, and she's been a sponsor of the show continually. We think the world of her. She's great. I actually got to go down to South Carolina and visit with her for a little while. And I hope she's doing well. And I hope you're listening, Margie. And we're very excited about you being back on the show and have a lot of pet projects I want you to look into because I know they fit right into your little niche, your alley. We've got a lot of other guests coming on. Of course, Bob New will be back with us this season when he can be permitted to be here. He's a busy man these days.
We miss you, Bob.
Yes. We get so tickled because Bob, he's such a good radio microphone voice. You can see Dwayne over there running the soundboard every time Bob says it. He's like, whoa, it's off the table. It's off the chart. I don't know what to do. Also, you have a business partner who's actually going to join the cast and crew this season. He'll be on here for several shows. You can introduce him.
Yep, Brian Himes.
He's actually, he's in the studio right now. He's scoping us out this time, right?
He said he has a headache.
Yeah, don't even go down that road. He's grinning from ear to ear now. So anyway, we're so glad to have him in the studio, and he'll be joining us this season. Jack Cates, of course, coming back this season, and he is actually working on a test tonight. So he said that he actually had supper with us and visited for a while, and I didn't know he was going to stay. I guess he had said it, and I just kind of let it, and we're all getting ready in the studio. We're getting everything together, and he's like, well, I'm out of here. I was like, what? We haven't even started. I'm out of here. Well, he left us. But anyway, we were glad to have him.
Well, Watson was on, so he had to get a fresh on watch Jeopardy.
Well, that'll be one of our big stories this week. I mean, this is incredible. What's going on?
It's
right?
Skynet. I said it at dinner tonight.
Skynet. Well, no, it's not Skynet. It's Watson. It's IBM. We'll get to that story in just a little bit. Of course, we got Dwayne Shelton back this season running sound for us. And he has a new helper. And actually, we have two helpers, and I'm not going to peg them on jobs just yet. But we've got two interns that will be working with us this season. I'm very glad to have Brad and Marty here with us. And also... I don't know what to say. Mr. Nick is back again for another season, helping us out wherever we need him, especially on the cameras. If you listen to us on the radio, you may not have figured it out completely, but we are actually videoing every show now. Every single episode is on video. And we put that on the chadhembree.com website. So it's CHADHEMBREE.com. Also, our shows are airing on BriaOnline.com. richmondconnected.com, and we're going to be picked up by the new newwebradio.com.
Okay.
So I'm very, very, very much looking forward to that. We always have our down season in the winter because it's worked out well for schedules. But unfortunately, CES always falls around that time, and we do our year-end review show, and it really racks up on stories we should be covering, and I'm sorry about that, but it's just the way it has to be. So we will play a little bit of catch up on some of that.
Yeah, well, the one good thing about CES is it's unreleased technology, so we'll eventually cover it again.
Yeah, that's right. We'll cover it when it actually comes out, so you don't miss anything. Okay, the first thing then we're going to talk about this week on Tech Talk. Like I said, not changing the format this week. We're just going to talk about a few stories like we have in the past. But next week, we're going to have a news section. We've got features coming in, our guests, a little more. Oh, by the way, I've already lined up several guests. Verizon.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Beagle coming back down. He's bringing us the iPhone 4 from Verizon. So that'll be very cool. I'm looking very, very much forward to that. Also wanted to say that the guys from Never Press Pause will be frequenting our show to talk about new games. So they're going to be hitting us up a little bit for game help on that.
Nice.
So I know that's in your department. I'll let you steer that when they're here. So I'm just very excited. There's just a lot going on. This is going to be a good season. Very, 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 very excited. The big story, of course, IBM Watson playing Jeopardy. Now, give us a little background on what you know of Watson here.
So what I know is it's just a supercomputer who can buzz in immediately. I mean, he's super fast at buzzing in, but he can interpret questions asked by Alex Trebek. A little bit better than Sean Connery.
Okay.
But apparently, I haven't actually seen an episode yet. I've been busy. But apparently, it shows his thinking process. And even though a more likely answer may rank at a higher percentage, even when Jack told me this, it will choose what it thinks is right, even if it's a lower percentage of, possibility of being correct.
What I find amazing is not that a computer knows facts. I mean, duh, a computer, you put as many facts you want to, and a computer is going to look it up. The fact is, it interprets the question asked. And Jeopardy questions are not always that straightforward. They kind of trip you up a little bit.
And it can answer in the form of a question.
Well, yeah.
It has no internet access.
So yeah, you're right. It's not internet access. Nick said that from the back of the room. It's all from an internal database, and it's quite awesome.
Yeah,
I watched it tonight while we were eating.
Yeah, that's right. He went in the other room and watched it. Yeah,
and it was winning.
Yeah, well, I've heard that he was like 35,000 or something to their $5,000. It was insane.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now, this computer is one of their traditional Big Blue IBM supercomputer, mainframes supercomputers. It is housed in a unit that looks like a walk-in cooler, walk-in freezer. And then they've run the cords out, of course, to this nice fancy little lighted up thing, that represents Watson. But it's not really. That's not Watson. Watson's the huge computer in the back. And I think people they look at it and they're like, oh, that's the computer. No, that's not the computer. That's just the pretty thing they put up for us to look at. Yeah, I do want to talk about this more, but I'm actually going to wait until the end of the series where Watson's competing just to see how far this goes, so we can have some in-depth stuff about processors and know more about the memory capabilities and just everything about in depth about that. I want to share, and I have a lot of that now, but I want to lay it out after we see how far it goes.
And I would, like I said, give more credit to Jack for filling me in on this. Like he said, the Watson, he doesn't have to press a button to buzz in. So comparing it to saying that it actually beat the humans isn't quite fair, because it's electronically triggering the push button, and the human players still have to process it, get it to their thumb, and push the button, where he doesn't. And so that's the only unfair. They should have put a robotic hand to push the button.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, then it wouldn't just be a computer; it'd be a robot, and then maybe you are getting a Skynet.
Dum, dum, dum.
I tell you, that's pretty amazing. Just to think about. We've always, had the chess games with the computers, where they've always had the big supercomputers trying to play chess against the masters. But this goes way beyond chess.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is
chess.
Whatever question do you want to ask? It's what do you want to ask? Anything. Anything's fair game. Either knows or doesn't know.
Yeah, that blows me away.
It's insane, isn't it?
You can't really comment on it. It is what it is. It's like, wow.
Okay. Let's move on and talk a little bit about the cell phone market for just a little bit. Did you see Nokia's big announcement?
I had it here somewhere.
Did you have it there?
Somewhere in my list. All right, go ahead and fill us in.
Windows.
They're loading Windows on it?
Yeah, they're really wanting to push Windows as their major farm. And
so Symbian is out the window?
Yeah, I mean, this is a big deal, right?
Yeah, well, it is a big deal because it's another platform for Windows to go on. But really, Symbian was kind of falling to the wayside anyways.
Well, I think that Microsoft partnering up with Nokia, a well-known hardware company, places them in an even better position to compete with the iPhone. Android, of course, being the runaway child right now.
Yes. And Verizon has helped the iPhone gain a little bit more ground, but it's still, there's so many different Android offerings that...
That's right. It's too big. So if you're out there shopping for a phone, I would consider looking at the Nokias. I'm a little disappointed with a couple of things on the way the Windows operating system handles, like multitasking isn't there yet.
Right.
But it will be.
Eventually.
And I think it'll come as a software upgrade, because what I'm looking at in this hardware looks like it's going to be capable of handling multitask.
Yeah, the hardware is just like everything else. Run on the iPhone or the Galaxies or the Evos. I mean, it's all the 1 gigahertz line of procs.
I think when Microsoft went to the drawing board for Windows 7 Phone, or whatever you want to call it, the concept of multitasking had not really swept the market to make Microsoft take notice of it so quickly. Because, they're thinking of the idea of one task at a time on your phone's fine, as long as it does it fast and does it well.
But the old Windows Mobile multitask.
Yes, it did, but who used it? It was slow. You had more than one or two things open, you might as well have a calculator.
Very true.
Because that's about all you were getting out of it.
Yeah, running the little 328 Marvel products.
Yeah, there you go. So not very good. So keep your eyes open on the Nokia offerings. I think that we're going to see some competition out of them. And I'm glad. I want to see more competition in the phone market. I don't want it just to be 2 or 3.
Yep.
I want to see a lot of competition out there. It's good for the consumer. It's good for the market.
Drives prices way down.
Yeah, well, yeah, that helps too.
The only thing that you run in with so many different cell phones out there is, and I'm just going to sound really crazy, accessories. Manufacturers they want to latch onto a couple of phones, the hot phones, and make accessories, want cases. Just like the iPhone was redesigned on Verizon, it's the same phone for the most part. Button placement's different. So I can't go to Best Buy and buy an iPhone 4 case unless it's the Verizon one.
I understand that.
And so if there's 15 billion different phones out there, there's going to be manufacturers focusing on a couple or barely focusing on all of them and going to come out with crappy products.
But see, I don't see it. I think it's still better for the market to have multiples out there because you're talking about cases as the accessory. I'm thinking accessories like, as long as you focus on the Bluetooth and the micro USB standards, you can pretty much make every other accessory compatible.
True.
Now, Apple didn't pull that off. They had, unique port on everything. But
Yeah.
it seems like most of the other companies are either going to some sort of a micro USB or using the same style memory cards for every phone now.
Yes. Just using micro SD. I think that's the standard now.
Also, the HDMI, the micro HDMI ports are becoming pretty standard. Yours has that, right?
Yeah, it's got it right there. It's a
So
little bit
literally,
different.
you could load your phone up with movies, plug it into a high-def TV, and watch your movies.
In 720p, which is almost visually indistinguishable to 1080p on most displays.
I think it's great. I think that the technology's there, the applications are there. The more the merrier is the way I see the market right now.
Sure.
Especially in today's market. I mean, we need to see production.
And like I said, I completely agree with that. It's just the kind of your extended life batteries and things like that. If they push up battery designs, like Seiko may not come out with as, or not Seiko, Sadio may not come out with as many. And that's the only thing I'm thinking of. If you don't hit the high-end, top-of-the-line phone, consumers may fall a little short with their accessorizing. They can't
Accessorize.
They can't bedazzle it as easy.
Oh yeah, you just have to get the glue on, the dazzle stickers or whatever. Well, Dean, thanks for being in the studio, and we're going to have to take our first break coming up soon. Once again, you're listening to Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. Joining me in the studio is Dean Buttrey. Thank you very much for being here again. We have a lot more news to cover. We're going to try to get through as much as we can. This story took way too long. Sorry, but it's big. I mean, we're the Watson's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And like I said, we will keep up with it. And one of the things I'm waiting on is for Jack Cates to come back because he really he's a deep Jeopardy fan way before Watson was involved. So we've definitely got to get his take on this before we can go further with the story. Once again, this is our season premiere of our 9th season. We've got some big changes coming up next episode, but we just wanted to try to break in slow so we can talk to everyone. Thanks again for listening. You can find us on the web at chadhembree.com. We're going to take our first break. We'll be right back with more tech news. Hello and welcome back. You're listening to Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. Joining me in the studio is Mr. Dean Buttrey. And we need to slide down here a little bit for the cameras, guys. I didn't even pay attention. We got our last minute guest here joining us. He's decided to put a mic in front of him after all. And I'm glad you are feeling a little bit better.
Thank you.
But we've got joining us. You want to introduce your business partner here, Mr.
Business
Dean?
partner.
Yes, business partner. Brian Himes.
Hello.
E. Himes.
Brian E., that's right. Got to be distinguished from Madison County, Berea specifically.
Brian will be joining the Tech Talk crew this season. And he's got a lot to bring to the table, and he keeps up with tech news pretty good. We've had a lot of good talks today, and very interesting things going on. You actually had similar concerns over that first Nokia story we talked about.
Yeah, I did. Their proprietary stuff drove me crazy back in the day. I was screaming the same thing. I had no idea that Dean felt the same, and so when he brought that argument up, I got to give him a little credit for it.
Yeah, because Nokia is famous for having a bunch of models that don't match up.
Right.
But I do think with Windows, it will be a little bit different. I think that there will be a little bit more standardization of at least the electronical
That would be the hope.
attachments, yes. All right, there are a lot of other stories I want to cover. And like I said, it's so many that there's no way we're going to catch all of them. But I'm just going to jump in here both feet and see what we can get to. First of all, Motorola announcing their mobile processor, quad-core Zoom. A quad-core modal. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to go in the Zoom tablet to start with, and it won't be a year before you see this quad-core popping up in phones.
Sure.
You know that.
Right. What can your phone do? Well, it can instant message, transcode video.
Yeah. What can't it do? It can play Jeopardy.
That's the Moto Watson.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
Moto Watson. So I don't know. Is it too much? Is it too far? Is it too fast? Is it are we needing devices that can process this much? I mean, maybe I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Of course, I love more power. But the point being, a quad core phone is it going to waste the battery?
They need to work on that.
Are we counterproductive? Is my point.
That's what I was going to say. You're probably going to get a diminishing return at that point. That'll, as Dean's learning, battery life is
My phone
beautiful
is
thing.
currently attached because it couldn't go 6 hours off an electrical cord.
and it might die right now.
Yeah, my wireless phone is constantly attached to a wire. Always.
So are we all going to start wearing backpacks that are just solid batteries, like about 12 inches long, inside our coats?
So bag like a bag phone with battery.
Is that what it is? You go back to the bag phone. Yes, with the phone tethered, to this big bag battery.
Either that or what's that car maker that had the commercial with the technology with the hood?
The Kia commercial at the Super Bowl, that was good.
Yeah, maybe we'll apply some of that to charging our cell phones. Or corduroy pants, static electricity from corduroy pants.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Everybody goes back to corduroy, or at least
That'll be
corduroy inlay.
That'll be it.
Inside the legs.
That'll be it.
God, no.
I can hear everybody now. Zip, 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 zip.
But I'm untethered.
Now, we talked about on our
Modern Family.
season finale. You had to get that out.
Couldn't help it.
On our season finale show that Milwaukee Tool Company had come out with their warming coat that works off their tool batteries. You just
Right.
pull one of the tools batteries, plug it in, stick it in your pocket, and it heats the coat.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm thinking the reverse of that. You put the battery all in the coat and plug your devices in your pocket.
Sure.
Then you don't have to leave them plugged in. They're just plugged in while they're in your jacket.
All right, well, this is
Were you
actually going to...
Go ahead.
He knows exactly where I'm going. I had a jacket that was made for iPods, and it could transmit electrical current through the fabric, and I could control the iPod from my sleeve. And I plugged it into the coat.
This was years ago.
Yeah, this was 2004.
Oh, really? That far back?
Yeah. So you're probably not far. You're probably not far from what they're going to do, and then especially the what's the buzzword for the pad? The
Tablet.
no, the
The
charging.
The wireless charger.
Yeah. What's the
Power mat.
mat? I said pad. How close? I'm sorry, iPad.
Pads, mats, tablets.
Yeah. But how close would that be to being able to go from that technology? Like you're saying, you're kind of joking about it, but
Have you used one of the mats yet? Have you tried them?
No, I have not.
want
I
to.
mean, it's a good idea.
I saw the Palm Pre Keystone, I think they
The
call it.
Keystone, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that in action.
I mean, it's just one of those things, though. I look at it and kind of look at it and I think, is this action really so difficult? Plug it in your phone and set it down to charge it. I mean, is it really that much of a waste of your day to plug in your phone to its charger that you have to get a pad to lay your phone?
Can I play devil's advocate on that one?
Sure.
So you
go
took it.
ahead.
All right. Well, good. How many times do you have to get down before you can get in bed and break a sweat trying to get up underneath the nightstand to fish out your
The
cord?
cable that fell? Okay.
Yeah. So that's the only time I like it. I mean, take glasses off, you're all into that nightstand mode. It's there. That easy. Not having to chase that cord around. I would like
Okay.
that. I would
All
like
right.
that.
I can see that then.
That's the one application.
All right,
Having
I
to-
hadn't thought about it. And I have dropped the cord and had to go fishing for it.
Everybody
That's
has.
aggravating.
I have a question. How does it actually work? Is there something that attaches to the phone and you lay it on the pad? Or?
We've got our question and answer section going on, apparently.
Hey.
It's
Apparently, Nick has a question. So stop everything and answer his question.
okay for the viewers at home and Nick. There is a special device. It's like a little thing. Sometimes there's stickers, some are cases, and it accepts radio waves. It's an RF signal, and it converts it into electrical current.
And you just have to be in close proximity. That's the point of laying it on the.
It's really just a huge magnet. That's all it is. Just a huge magnet, different polarities, and it converts it.
And this actually was a spawn of trying to develop wireless AC adapters. They made these wireless AC adapters that would then vibrate at certain frequencies to make these little things vibrate in your devices or the cases for the devices, which would then basically give you wireless charging. It didn't go over very well. It was diminishing returns, like you
Right.
said. But by laying it in close proximity, you're doing a little better.
Now, have you seen the huge magnets you can install in between your? Now my mind went blank.
I'm sorry.
Studs in between your studs and the walls that can power your television, your Blu-ray player, your Xbox,
And your cancer cells.
and your cancer cell.
Absolutely.
You're scaring me, man. I don't want that in my wall.
Countertops you can get countertops built with it pre-installed, and it supposedly now works without an adapter. You set your blender on your countertop. You want puree. That's it. No special device required. Is what they're boasting.
We'll be there. I'm certain. We'll get there.
And we're going to go
I mean, because
a third arm.
it wasn't just 2-3 years ago that we were talking about. Oh my gosh, are they ever going to get wireless AV capabilities so you can run your receiver to your television? Well,
Right.
now we have it,
Right.
Yep.
so you can run your high def TV wirelessly. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. That's really cool.
So yeah, you're right. We'll get there, but it just seems. Wow, I mean that whole cancer idea.
We still really
I
don't
need
know.
more waves going through my house.
Yeah, we still really don't know the effects of all the radio waves. And
I live in a bomb shelter anyway. Nobody's phone works there. I've got all waves blocked.
CIA is trying to.
I run copper back and forth in a network. It's like a spider web. Nobody's seeing in my house. Of course, the adverse effect is nobody's talking in my house
Exactly.
either.
And the 6 toes.
No waves in our house. Seriously, I don't know what the deal is with my home. But no cell signal. And then people laugh at me. This is Tech Talk Chad,
Exactly,
okay?
exactly.
Mr. Tech himself, who has more gadgets in his home than you could possibly imagine. I can't receive cell signals in my house. I live in town. It's not like I live out in the
Right.
country. I can't receive TV signals into my home. We called Dish Network and we called DirecTV. They both technicians worked for half a day. Sorry, sir, you're unserviceable.
Nice.
So the cable company loves me; they get to keep me. But the
Get out.
I'm telling you, we live in the wireless dead zone. It'll be us and the cockroaches. So if you want
the
to be
Hembree
safe,
triangle,
come to the
right
Hembree
there.
Home. That's right. It's hilarious. Moving on to get completely off the cell phone subject here. That I wanted to pull out here. Oh well, real quickly, I did have an Apple one that flashed by there. Apple trying to crack down on jailbreakers on their phones again.
They made that legal.
This time, if you jailbreak your phone, your new iPhone, you lose the capability to get to your iBooks. So you've purchased iBooks, are gone.
Right.
So another way to, if you're gonna kick someone, kick them in the pocketbook, right? I mean, that's where you get it. So if you have a jailbroken, is that the jailbroken?
Sure.
Jailbroke.
Broke it.
Broke it. If you have a locked up, locked out, broke out. I don't know what
Crack.
Yeah. If you have a
that's what we
cracked
call it on the
iPhone,
Netflix side,
send it back and get it repaired. No, if you have a cracked iPhone,
Buy a Kindle.
switch to Amazon Kindle Books or
Yes.
Nook because your iBooks are no longer going to work. The next thing I want to talk about is tablets for just a little bit. In the tablet market, you've got several big contenders, but there's been a leak that Microsoft, when you hear about these leaks, you wonder, is it really a leak or was it placed? But apparently the Windows 8 tablet already slated for early 2012. So we'll start seeing things along the way for that. Of course, the Windows 7 tablets slated for 2011.
And I need clarification along with probably other people. We have two versions of Windows 7 out. Mobile 7 and full-on Windows 7.
Yes, and mobile's what I'm talking about.
okay.
Yes, not. You want a Windows 7 full-on tablet? Just buy one of those flip-around
Yeah, the
screen
flip notes.
notebooks, and you're good to go. And they're awesome. But that's not what we're talking about. The instant-on Windows mobile operating system to compete with iOS and Android.
I was just hoping that there was going to be Windows 8. I was getting excited.
Well, Windows 8 will be here, but not that soon. I think you got 2 more years over.
He'll be running a beta somehow. Just don't ask
But
how.
Every time.
Did a quick rundown on the tablets to give you an idea. Right now, Apple has 17.2% market share of the tablet market, which is the largest. Because second goes to HP, who's been competing in it even longer, as you know. With 15.6%. Next down really blew me away because it's actually Acer. How many people do you know with that Acer tablet?
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that. I would think Fujitsu would be way up in the category.
Well, anyway, so that's...
So, I mean, HP, though, those are... The tablets I've seen, like the tablets you have.
They're a full-size computer.
Yeah, it's a computer. And the Apple is not a computer. And technically now, the old tablets with the HP, they've changed the name to convertibles. They're not tablets; they're convertible laptops or convertible notebooks.
Well, we're just looking through the 2010 figures that have just been released. So obviously, if name changes came in late 2010, then they're not going to reflect in this.
True.
So the point being that Apple really does own the market still. And next closest to it, I don't even consider, or I hadn't considered HP in the tablet, per se market. And of course, HP now is really, really beefing up on the Palm and wanting to put that in the tablet. What do you think? Do we have room for another tablet operating system? Palm's really scary, isn't it? Because we don't know what to think about it. We don't know where it's going.
Right.
I had.
Where does it fit?
I was very much in tune with the Palm.
Yeah, but we both said it was a day late and a dollar short.
Yeah.
Was all it was. It was a little underpowered and had a good idea and gave it the old, college try. But
you don't think the HP dollars behind it are going to help?
Well, that's a whole new ballgame. But I don't know. I mean, you got iOS, Windows Mobile, and Android dominating, and it's going to be hard.
Well, while we're talking about Palm and talking about HP, let's talk about the company HP. Really trying to get a little more aggressive in the market, and one of the ways they've done this is by pulling Meg Whitman, former CEO of eBay, onto the HP board.
Right.
I think that's a bold move. I like Meg Whitman, and I think she'll be good for HP. HP's had some ups and downs, let's put it that way, with
Sure.
CEOs and board members, and I think she'll be really good for it. I look forward to seeing what she has to bring to HP, and HP, one of my favorite companies anyway. I have lots of their products. In the entire scope of last season, we kept hinting about HTML5, the new video HTML5, and a lot of people are like, what is that? Well, Hypertext Markup Language, HTML, that's the language we use on the internet. Just keep it that simple. That's what it is. We have been waiting for a new version of this to come out as a standard because you had all these competing companies trying to develop it to fit whatever need they want. And that's obviously not what we needed. So they have finally decided they're going to agree on their standard and have it completed by 2014.
14.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Why do you even release something that far like that? This is just,
HTML7 will be out by then.
I mean, that's what they're. What I'm thinking is, you're telling me that you're not going to come out with anything better until 2014. You're not even going to try.
3 years.
You're just going to work on your standards. I can't buy into that. Can you? Really?
The world ends next year.
The world ends in 2012 anyway, huh? Is that what
Right.
you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, you've got every browser coming out boasting HTML5 capabilities. So,
Well, and they're just running the preceptor of what they think
It's
will
going
be
to
the standard.
Well, if you
Yeah.
build it, they will
If you build it,
come.
they will come. The field of dreams.
That's what they're
is
hoping
what it is.
for.
Okay. Well, you're listening to Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. Joining me in the studio, Dean Buttrey and Brian Himes. I want to thank you both for being in here. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back with more tech news. Hello and welcome back to Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. Joining in the studio, Brian Himes, Dean Buttrey. And Dean, you've lost the tie now. It's like you've given it to the computer, but
this is the professional one.
Brian is coming here. He's looking really sharp. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to really step it up. I tell you what, you guys are showing me up big time.
It's going to be Tech Talk with Chad Hembree.
I kind of like that.
That's pretty good.
Sony. We were talking about the iBook thing, and it brought to mind another story going on. Sony banning players for life for hacking their PS3s. Okay, come on, life. What's so important? It's a gaming system. They hacked it. You know what? It cost them some bucks. Make them have to pay to get something done. Make them, do something. Banning for life? I mean, what are you, Sony? Seriously.
Put a scarlet letter on their gamer tag.
Right. They have to get a big tattoo. I'm banned from Sony for life. What's up with them?
It's absolutely insane. I mean, just a few updates ago, they still allowed you to load a different operating system on the console.
Yes.
So now you see groomed people being able to do that. And then you go, oh, nope, you know what? You're gone.
It says here, and I had to pull it up to be, it's one of those things you hear and you think, no, no way. But Sony actually said that PlayStation 3 hackers will be permanently banned from all the company's online services. Not, until you get it fixed, you can't use it online, or you can't use your cracked thing on your cracked device online. It's, you're out of the shrine, Coy.
Yeah.
You've been blackballed.
Or a probationary period, nothing. Just
that's right.
yeah.
All right, so I don't know if Sony went into thinking this or not, but does anyone see a cause and effect here? You're telling a bunch of hackers that they're banned. And
These aren't hackers. These are teenage kids, man, and middle schoolers.
but they call out hackers.
Yeah.
This is going target me
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it?
Well,
Master-
first of
If it
all,
wasn't
if you're
intelligent enough, here,
if you
let's
really
draw some
are
more
a
attention
talented
to it.
hacker, you just got slapped in the face because you got lumped with teenagers, middle
Right.
schoolers trying to crack their Xboxes and PlayStation 3s. Okay, That's just awful because half the people cracking these things, they don't know what they're doing. They downloaded something, they stuck it in the disk, or they plug it into the internet, and it pretty much does it for them, right? Same way you crack your phones, or hack into your phone.
Sure.
You download the little program, it sets a boot ROM to it, and you go to town on it. It's not hacking.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This loading software is what it is.
What do you think Apple is going to follow them? I'll let you guys. That's a setback on that because I see
Well,
Apple
iBook-
doing
the iBook thing. You restore your phone.
doing
you gotta
exactly.
get
Well,
your
no,
books
but
back.
yeah, but you can't get it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, whoa, wait a minute. You mean we could ban them for life, or we could charge them for life? They'll put that in the contract. I'm sorry, I don't like the Kool-Aid with Apple.
Oh, yeah, I understand. I completely understand. I'm not a big Apple.
Sorry,
I like
folks.
their products. I like their innovation. I like the money they put into research. I don't like you're going to do what we say you need to do, and you're going to like it. And you're going to buy devices that have exactly the capabilities we think you should have. No, don't do me that way. Okay, that's just not going to fly. So anyway, PS3 banned for life.
Yeah, they're already a struggling console, anyways, and they were making a breakthrough. It was like I said, back maybe the last show of the year, something we talked about. Sony, people buy Sony for the console itself, not for the games, because when it comes to the gaming, you have a better experience on the Xbox due to Xbox Live. So people buy the PlayStation on its other features. And part of that's cracking with that.
Well, if you listened to Tech Talk last season, you'll know that I really, really went bonkers on Toyota. Not because of their recalls, not because of any kind of automobile problem at all, but because of their cocky response to the issue and the way they basically pulled the we're going to do it the way we think it should be done and you should just like it and keep buying our products. What? I mean, what? Did you just really say that to our Congress? I mean, you that is just cocky. So I have always felt Sony shows the same cockiness in the electronics world.
It's there.
I don't like it. I will never like that attitude. I have a Sony receiver on my stereo at home. Okay, so it's not that their products are bad. Okay,
Yeah. I love the products. I've got Sony television, my entire surround sound Sony except for a Pioneer receiver. PSPs. I love the products.
The products are fine, but it's that cocky. It's the same way back to Toyota. Products are fine, but they did fix it. I know they had the recall, but you know what? There's been other recalls in other companies, and we're going to see more in the future.
Right.
It doesn't. It's the cockiness that's associated with it. And by the way, put your car in neutral and it won't run away. But anyway, the point being, you have to just have a bad taste in your mouth when this cockiness comes across. And that's exactly what's going on with the PlayStation 3. We're going to ban you for life. Well, apparently you don't need customers.
Exactly.
I don't get it. I never will get it. I'll never understand it.
I don't want to
It's not shame on you, but we still want your money. No, it's you're banned for life. Don't even try buying a PlayStation 4 because you're banned for life.
It's all online services.
Yes.
You can't even use their Sony e-reader.
Really?
Yeah. It's all online services. Everyone. But like I said,
How long to the retraction?
6 months.
I don't know if it'll take it that long. They may have too much pride.
How long before their website crashes?
See, you guys, both of you, and I kind of feel a little bit more like Dean, which is not too ironic, but you kind of represent what they're going to do to their customer base. They're going to completely splinter it, and they're going to I don't want to say it. The underdog friend is you. You don't like being told like that. How cocky can you be? You're a bully, and you're going to pull those people away, which is going to go, fine, I'll spend my money elsewhere and go for my entertainment. And then the other side is the people that don't like playing in the box anyway. And wait a minute, you just pigeonholed me and challenged me and dared me to get outside the box. Well, here you go. You better be ready because we're coming full on.
Well, but I'm thinking about the middle school kid who's now at the most impressionable place of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Now is the point where he decides what he's a fan of. And he'll pretty much stick to that in some form of loyalty. If he becomes a Nintendo fan, there'll always be a little bit of Nintendo. If he becomes an Xbox fan, we see this all the time.
Right.
People have a tendency to stick with...
Right.
Because they want their choice to be the right one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He chooses 7th grade. He chooses PlayStation. His buddy comes over and says, look, man, I got this disc that opens up all the cheats on this game. We can beat this game tonight. Loaded. He plays around. Guy leaves. They beat the game. They're happy. He's playing the next day. He's playing something else. All of a sudden, bloop. You've been banned for life. Okay, but seriously. Banned for life? Mom, Dad, can I get an Xbox? You know?
Yeah.
Well, you don't want a new PlayStation? No, just an Xbox. Why not a PlayStation? Just an Xbox. I mean, you don't want to tell Mom and Dad you're banned for life.
Exactly.
In 7th grade, you know.
They're gonna be broke. They're gonna be bashed in their room. Something happened to them. Well, I want to get an Xbox this time, Mom.
That's right. You got it.
What happened to it? I don't know. I jerked it off the table.
The online services don't work anymore, Mom, and I just don't really like it anyway. Let's get an Xbox.
What's wrong with it?
That's right. Oh, it's really good. That was a great. Dwayne says from across the room, he banned for Woolsworth, and I'm thinking, is it just this one or all of them? For anyone out there who knows, I am a huge "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" fan. So that was awesome. Okay, moving on to another subject for a minute.
You got thought?
What? Thought? No, I'm a dapper Dan man. The Eric Schmidt has been CEO for Google for quite some time, and if you remember the story, Larry and Sergey, when they started, were pretty young. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the business execs that they were saying, look, guys, you're a little bit too young, especially for a company going public. It's going to have $400 shares to be the CEO, or for people to put their money into it, resting on such young talent. They said, so be active, do your innovation, but hire somebody who has chutzpah.
Yeah.
To run the company. And they hired Eric Schmidt, who over the years has done a fairly good job. He's put his foot in his mouth a few times. And despite that, things have run pretty well. But our young men have come of age, and they want to take the reins back. And I'm not sure how smooth it went in real life, because on paper they're making it look smooth as silk, right. But there's a part of me in the back of my mind going, did he really want to give it up that easy? But apparently Larry Page is going to take over as the CEO. I mean, he already has. I mean, that was the big announcement. But in reality, he's taking over. It'll be a year-long process, right, probably, of him taking over as the CEO, acting chief executive of Google. Now, they're saying it's to streamline the idea to market. So, the originators are coming up with these ideas, and they feel like they're just not getting streamlined into production quick enough. But part of me says there's probably a reason of quality issues and other things. We did notice that Google really did mess up a couple of times in the last year, especially with Google Buzz.
Right.
Yeah. And that's not something we're used to seeing Google do. That's something Microsoft used to pull. Who, by the way, have you noticed any bad things from Microsoft since 7? No, because they're watching their P's and Q's. They know. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of interested to see sometimes things sound good in paper, but they don't work out as well in reality. He's never run a company before. He's never been that CEO. This is their first business. I mean, think about it. A lot of times we say, "Oh, he's green. This is his first company." These guys will die from their first company. I mean, they're not ever going to go anywhere else. We'll see how it happens. I like them. I'm a big fan, and I'm surely not preaching doom. I want to see huge success. I want to see stocks soar again for several reasons. Sure. I'm telling you, I like the guys. I want to see Google do well. Big, huge Google fan. Google, though, as a company, advertising was their big thing, and then what happened? The mobile phone thing just exploded. I don't even think they were ready for it.
I saw a study a couple weeks ago. I believe they've overtaken Microsoft now as far as stock value and.
Well, their stocks have been more than.
I can't remember what the stats said, but it's now it is the largest
tech company. Yeah.
Tech company.
Well, their advertising market share is just incredible. I mean, it's just out of the world. All right, a couple more stories. Dwayne, how much time we got?
Less than 6 minutes.
Less than 6 minutes. I'll throw two Time Warner and Comcast stories out there. First of all, Time Warner, Comcast are finally starting to do some testing on IP version 6. IP version 6, most people listening going, why? What's that matter? What is IP? That's your internet protocol. That's the numbers that they give you when you assign onto the internet. Right now, pretty much every piece of equipment you have works on IP4, which is a series of 4 sets of numbers.
Called subnets.
1.1.1.1, let's just say that. That's where it starts. And it can go to 255.255.255.255. That's how many numbers we have that we can give out on the internet in its entirety. That's it. That's all the numbers on the internet. Now, what happened is you had countries like China who were taking huge chunks of numbers now because they, are emerging technology nations, and they want to be connected to the internet. I don't blame them. We're not knocking that at all. Growth just makes the internet bigger. That's not a problem. The fix for it was supposed to be this IP version 6, which then adds alphabetical to the and it lengthens the number, and it complicates things to the times 10, okay, for what we're used to in numbering. I like the idea of IP version 6 in an internal network. I like the idea that a company like IBM could say, okay, bring in our IP version 4 numbers. That's our numbers to the internet. Now we will share out from that number a whole bunch of these 6 numbers, so that we have our own internal network.
Right.
But now that the internet providers are wanting to hand out these numbers, there's a lot of equipment out there that's not going to handle it.
No. It's going to have to be dual purpose. They're going to have either or. Yeah.
So you think that for the gamer on the Xbox can be set up to use this IP6. The gamer's oblivious to the fact it's even there, and just let it be done with it. But the guy who has the computer network set up and doing port forwarding and everything, then he really needs to have his...
Right. Because, actually, I don't know of any routers that currently will accept an IPv6 address from a provider.
From a provider? I'm not sure. I know ones that hand out those addresses on the internal.
I don't know if they can accept it.
We need to look into that. And it may just be because we haven't had to use it, so we haven't really looked into it. All right, we've got about 3 more minutes left. I want to say also that Comcast officially acquiring NBC Universal.
That went through.
It did go through. We had hinted at that at the end of last year, so I just want to say it is official. So we'll follow up on that later because that's a huge deal. You think about NBC Universal, well, that's entertainment business, but I'm telling you, they're becoming a huge part of the internet. And now that Comcast, one of the largest carriers, who's already tried to pull stunts of blocking things and moving things, and Comcast has always been on the hot and heavy end of what can we get away with on the internet. So we'll definitely be following them. But thank you for listening. You've been listening to Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. You can find us on the web at chadhembree.com, ChadHembree.com. I want to thank Brian Himes, Dean Guthrie for being here and their business, DB Solutions, DBSoulsInc.com. Yes.
SOLSINC.com.
All right. And, of course, you all are available for computer consulting and IT work, all kinds of extras. And appreciate having you here.
Thank you.
The new season, of course, starting. This is our 9th season. Our next episode will be in the new format, so I'm giving you plenty of heads up warning, so when you listen, you don't think, what is this? That's not my show. No, it's still us. We've been here for a long time. We're going to keep being here, but we did decide to make some changes this year, not because we didn't like it the way it was, but because we just want something new. We're going to try something new. All right, thanks again for joining us. Join us next week for more tech news.